Nine is a passion project in which one man poured his soul into it, yet remains forgotten. Director Shane Acker came up with the concept and world of Nine when he started working on his thesis project at UCLA's Animation Workshop in 1999. He creatively opted not to feature any dialogue and have the short film be carried solely by its visual storytelling. Originally, he wanted Nine to be a stop motion, but various factors, primarily time constraints, prevented it. He maintained the stop motion visual style for the animation's visuals. This can be directly seen on the ragdolls, officially referred to as Stitch Punks, which bear a striking resemblance to puppets typically seen in stop motion animation.
I was really inspired by a lot of stop motion filmmaking, like Eastern Europe stop motion filmmakers like Jan Svankmajer, the brothers Quay, who sort of studied or were influenced by him, the Lowenstein brothers, as well as the work of Zaslaw Beskiński, who's an amazing Polish sort of horror futurist painter.
For the world building, he wanted it set in a post-apocalyptic setting where these creatures would inhabit a world left behind and through curiosity and ingenuity began taking over the leftover remnants of technology. This vision culminated in a 10-minute short film released in 2005. It became an instant hit, and the following year it was nominated at the 2006 78th Academy Awards under the animated short film category.
And the nominees are
Badgered,
The Moon and the Sun, An Imagined Conversation,
The Mysterious Geographic Explorations of Jasper Morello,
9, Shane Acker,
One Man Band.
Unfortunately, Nine lost to
And the Oscar goes to...
The Moon and the Sun, An Imagined Conversation, John Kingmaker and Peggy Stone.
This is the third video I have covered consecutively that has been nominated for an Oscar and lost. Maybe this one is different since it was a short that got nominated and not the full feature. Acker saw potential for a feature-length story that he started making moves in Hollywood. This next bit is a 6 degrees of Shane Acker in which he knows a guy who knows a guy that knows Tim Burton, so stay with me. This web starts with Shane getting an agent who was able to set up meetings for him to pitch his movie. This led to Shane eventually crossing paths with producer Jim Lemley, who, after finishing a pitch, chased him down the hallway to tell him that he's interested in the property. Mr. Lemley, as it happens, is connected in Hollywood and knows Tim Burton's agent, Mike Simpson. Once a connection had been established between Shane and Tim Burton, Tim was able to see the vision and officially signed on to help Shane with anything he needed to get the project fully realized.
Of the scene is, and at the same time they're also getting the voice acting from our voice actors, and if we've done any recording sessions.
The movie opened in theaters on Wednesday, September 9th, 2009 in the second place spot. It did so to fulfill the 9/9/09 date, and by the end of the 5-day weekend, it still wasn't enough to break into first place even with all the extra additional days. It opened behind Tyler Perry's I Can Do Bad All By Myself and ahead of Inglourious Basterds, which was already in its 24th day in theaters. By the end of the 5-day weekend, it brought in a total of $15 million. In its final runtime, it brought in $31.7 million domestically, $16.7 million internationally, for a worldwide total of $42.4 million. $42.4 million on a budget of $30 million. Although the movie is animated, there are various elements that elevate it from a child's film and as a result is given a PG-13 rating specifically for violence and scary images. The movie has an extremely low runtime coming in at 79 minutes, and in genre it is labeled as animation, action, adventure, drama, sci-fi, fantasy, and thriller. IMDb has the movie at 7 out of 10, and Metacritic has scored the movie a 60. On Rotten Tomatoes, the critics have given it a 57% and the audience is in agreement with a 56%. Roger Ebert wrote, "At the time, I found it an atmosphere of creeping, crashing menace, elaborated as a game of hide and seek, beautifully animated and intriguingly unwholesome." Remembering the promise of his original short, I looked forward to what Acker would do at a feature length. This is a disappointment. 9 is nevertheless worth seeing simply because of the creativity of its visuals. Elijah Wood was born on January 28, 1981 in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Elijah lends his voice to the protagonist 9, who wakes up in a post-apocalyptic setting and is being hunted down by sentient machines. Prior to 9, he starred in Day Zero in 2007 and The Oxford Murders, released in 2008. After 9, he was in The Romantics in 2010 and lent his voice in Happy Feet 2, which was released in 2011. Rounding up the cast, we have number 1, voiced by Christopher Plummer.
I suggest you avoid making that same mistake.
Number 2, voiced by Martin Landau.
3 and 4 are twins. They don't speak, but they speak with their eyes.
Number 5, voiced by John C. Reilly. Number 6, voiced by Crispin Glover.
Something I like about the characters, there is kind of question.
Number 7, voiced by Jennifer Connelly. And at number 8, voiced by Fred Tatasciore.
Are you on screen with the using a camera, or are you using a microphone?
People with this disorder are often paranoid.
But his work, he deals with conspiracies, so...
Yes, I know.
The movie opens directly into a montage of a man meticulously creating a Stitch Punk. After the title card, the little ragdoll named 9 wakes up and we see it in its first moments of life. The first thing we inspect is a mysterious dome-shaped piece of tech with runes inscribed on it, and we store it within the body. The second thing that grabs our attention is the window. We peek out, and in the distance we find someone dragging something. As we rush over to find them, we see the destroyed world we now inhabit. We meet the individual walking and see that he's the same species we are, with a number 2 inscribed on his back. He gives us a voice box and tells us that we found the dome tech that one of their members has been drawing non-stop. Just then, we're attacked by a cat-like beast that ends up taking 2 along with the dome. We are wounded in the scuffle and collapse due to the injuries. Luckily, we are spotted by another Stitch Punk from a distance and he rescues us. He takes us to his hideout in a cathedral where he fixes our wounds and we see that he's number 5. Our introductions are cut short when number 1 barges in and scolds 5 for putting the hideout at risk. One tells us that they woke up in the middle of a war between man and machines and hid with the rest of the Stitch Punks until the world became silent. 9 raises a number of questions, which 1 evades, stating that his goal now is preserving the life of the remaining group. As 9 is getting escorted out, the camera pans over to 6, sketching the amulet a number of times like a madman. At the watchtower, 9 convinces 5 to help him search for his kidnapped friend. 5 agrees, and the duo basically fast travel to the building where 2 is being held captive. They find 2, but in an attempt to free him, accidentally alert the beast, which then attacks them. Just as they're pinned, another Stitch Punk joins the fight and kills the beast single-handedly. It is revealed to be 7 in a comforting reunion. 9 retrieves the dome and naively inserts it in a spot that perfectly matches it. The insertion immediately lights up and sucks 2's life force, killing him instantly. With the dome rune attached and a soul taken, the Fabricator wakes up and begins chasing them in the factory. The remaining group is able to escape, and without missing a beat, the Fabricator begins piecing together a whole new beast. Seven takes 5 and a 9 to her hideout, and here we meet the remaining pair of numbers 3 and 4. 9 asks them about the dome, and they don't have any information on it. 5 and 9 return to the cathedral where 8 finds us sneaking around. As one is scolding us yet again, we're attacked by a winged beast. The group, along with the help of 7, fight for their lives, yet are able to defeat it. They move to a second location where 1 through 9 are discussing the domed room, and it is revealed that 1 sent 2 to die. Just as the group is at odds, a new creature traps 8 within it and entrances 1 and 5 out of a fight. 9 and 7 jump into action, saving 1 and 5. However, the creature takes 7 and 8 to the machine. Later on that evening, 9 infiltrates the factory where we see 8's life force being sucked out. Right before 7 is offered as a sacrifice, 9 runs in and saves her just as he kills the slithering creature. On their exit, 5 completely blows up the factory with a fabricator in it. There's a moment of relief as the group is enjoying their victory. However, it is cut short when 5 sees a machine approaching in the distance. Unfortunately, 5 only has enough time to warn the others before he himself gets captured and killed. The ragdolls are able to trap the machine, but not before he grabs a hold of 6 and kills him. 6's final words to 9 were to go to the source. We return to their room where we woke up and find a projector box that explains our beings. It turns out the scientists created both the machine as well as the Stitchpunks, with the only difference being that the machine has his intellect and the dolls have his soul. 9 runs back to the others just as the machine is crawling back to them. 9 tells them that he's going to face the machine, which should allow enough time for them to remove the talisman. Just as he's about to get killed, 1 pushes him out of the way and sacrifices himself, giving them enough time to grab the talisman. With the talisman in our possession, 9 focus beams the thing at the machine, killing it once and for all. Later into the night, 9 releases the souls of the deceased Stitchpunks, and in a final goodbye, they ascend to the heavens, raining life into planet Earth once again.